Hello everyone and welcome to Mission Alive. When I first went to the Trobriand Islands in Papua New Guinea, I was teaching grade 3, 4 and then grade 6. And then we had a great influx of young people, small children from the next village, which was a very strong United Church village. And they always sent their children to school up to another village, Salamo, which was a long, long way away, far too long for these small children to walk. So we agreed to take them. We wanted to take them, and the people finally agreed to let us take them for preps 1 and 2. And after grade 2, then they would send them to Salamo. They would be big enough to walk. So we had this influx of tiny little Trobriand children, full of life, full of energy, wanting to learn. So it was decided that I would take the preps. I would take these 80 grade prep children. So there wasn't a classroom big enough to hold them, so we went under the girls' dormitory. It was a good flat cement floor. So we went there, no desks, nothing, just our blackboards and our paper and pencil. And it was difficult teaching 80 little children and keeping them quiet and keeping them entertained and letting them make a noise at certain times. One afternoon, when I was crawling around the floor doing things with each child, one of the little girls called out, "Sister, Mosakalaguyau, he's sleeping." And I said, "Well, if Mosakalaguyau is sleeping, let him sleep. And if anybody wants to sleep beside him, they can sleep too." Anybody could have slept, it would have helped. That was a long time ago. When much later, after the 80s, when I was teaching around the place, being in Mission Education Secretary, I went to visit the Trobes. And one day I was driving out to visit one of the schools, and this young man ran up in front of me, waving his hands, waving, "Stop the car." And he had a red card in his hand. I didn't know what the red card meant. And he said to me, Sister, my wife has to go to the hospital. She's got a red card. She's going to have a baby." And apparently the hospital had 2 cards, a yellow card and a red card. If you had a yellow card, all right, you could have your baby in the village with the midwife, or you could come to the hospital if you could. But if you had a red card, you had to get to the hospital. So this fellow's wife had to get to the hospital. And I said to him, "Well, look, I've got an appointment I have to keep and it's out the other way." And he said, "Sister, I'm Mosakalaguyau." Well, I was so shocked. I stopped the car and I said, "Who are you?" He said, "Sister, I'm Mosakalaguyau." I was so delighted to see Mosakalaguyau, to know that he'd grown into a young man, married, and was soon to become a father. So, of course, I turned, drove down to the United Church village, picked up his wife and himself and all that they needed, and took him up to the hospital. And then I drove on my way to my appointment at the other school in the opposite direction. Of course, nobody worried that I was late, because usually nobody was on time. So we had our meeting, and after our meeting, which was quite late because I'd arrived late, and we enjoyed talking to each other. Often in the meeting, we'd break up and talk about something else. "Sister, do you remember? Sister, do you remember?" Yes, I remembered many of the good things we'd done in the old days. So on the way home, I thought, well, I can go up to Losuya and then go home to Kusaweta. So I went up to Losuya and called into the hospital to see if the red card had worked. Yes, she'd had her baby. She'd had a lot of trouble, but the baby was born and the mother and the baby were both well. Mosakalaguyau was a very proud and happy father. He came to me and said, "Sister, thank you for bringing my wife. If you didn't bring her, maybe my baby would die. But now I have a new baby. My wife and I are very, very happy. Thank you for teaching me, and thank you for giving me this new baby." Thank you. Thank you is a wonderful word in any language. Kakatoki. Kakatoki sinabuana in the Trobriand Islands. Kakatoki, thank you. Kakatoki sinabuana. Thank you very much. You have done something really good for me. So thank you can change a lot of things. Thank you can make you feel happy. Thank you can make you feel glad. Thank you can make you feel very grateful that you've done something to receive that reward of that thank you. So make sure that during this week, thank you is part of your life. Goodbye. God bless. See you another time.